Alright guys, I'm back with kind of a quick shop update, kind of an overview, end of the year, kind of tell you guys what the plan is and how things might slow up around here a little bit for the video stuff, at least for a few weeks. First I'm going to start off with a little bit of progress on the shop. This last weekend I think it was, I ran new pipe over because we got a fridge addition to the shop. Kind of reorganized this corner. I don't know if you guys seen in the old videos, this corner is kind of a cluster, and it looks like it because the seats and the stuff that needs to get out of here. But I ended up moving all the coil springs under this rack I made for all the all thread, because I like to keep my old all thread and stuff for like hood bolts or whatnot, you know. I don't know, I'm weird like that. I keep stuff like that around. Got all the springs out from underneath the bench over there so they aren't collecting metal shavings and whatnot when we're working on stuff. Kind of got the trash can tucked back in here. Good old fridge stocked up with the good stuff. Then tonight here I made a little holder deal for our trailing arms, just extra. I think the majority of these are metrics, and then these are old irons for sure. But I think I'm gonna end up doing another one here for the stuff we pull out of cars outside, the ones that we're cutting up and everything. Made a little rack deal for our ratchet straps and whatnot. Moved the angle iron box, and well, there's some square tubing in there, but it's mainly angle iron. Over here, cleaned some pallets up. These rear ends are sitting here because that's a buddy, and this third member came out of that rear end. So that's gonna go back, and then that rear end's gonna disappear. This pallet needs gone through, that pallet needs gone through. The other ones are decently organized. Like this is mainly everything that came out of my bone stock duo car. And there's a mouse that just ran behind it, but I got some bumper things here, just kind of where we keep our bumpers, and a heap of spare suspension and stuff. That's a bumper off my 98 Tow 2 that I ran. Got my racing seat stash here. Made a deal to hold our sheet steel up, and the smaller stuff sits there. And kind of this rack holds all of the smaller miscellaneous pieces of metal that I like to keep around in case you just need to fill a gap or do something weird. Takes a weird part, but that's what that is. Metal stuff needs reorganized because it's a freaking mess, but I don't have the energy or the time to go through this as of right now, so it's probably going to stay like that for a little while. There's a box full of iron that I made. This box I made in high school. It's just full of iron. It's kind of been like that since I built it. I don't really know what's in there because it's kind of looked like this ever since, you know, I made it. But got some inch and some half-inch to the side of it. I made this transmission holder because I might dabble into building a transmission for myself. Just the two pieces of all thread that go into the holes on the side of the case, and then that one holds it from rotating. But this slides into this engine stand here, so I can rotate it around and do whatever with it. But so this engine here is a 355 small block, or so I was told. I bought it pretty cheap. Guy said he heard a knock in the somewhere. And then he pulled it out of his car and sold it to me for what I feel like is a good deal. And after opening it up, what ended up happening is the pickup tube came off the oil pump, and it starved it of oil. And what he heard was making the knock was actually the pickup tube hitting the crank. So the oil pans had ended up inside. I'm going to have one of my buddies come out here and take a look at the bearings and the crank and see what he thinks. It's got some grooves that barely catch a guy's fingernail. I'm going to debate on just throwing new bearings in it, or if I'm going to end up getting a new crank coming for it. But that's that one. Heads and stuff are fine. It's nothing special. Cast crank. I don't even know what the rods are, and flat top pistons, whatnot. This one here is my 355. I ended up locking up in St. Paul. It would have been almost a little over a year ago now. So I got it up to around 300 or so degrees. My power steering pump actually fell off the front because the threads came out of my head. Two of my spark plugs started stripping the threads. I'm assuming because it was so goobered up, and it ate a head gasket in the process, because all my spark plugs ended up rusting that I had in it. But I looked at this one. The crank seems decent. I'm going to also probably throw new bearings in it, check how the cylinder walls look and everything, and throw bearings in it and get some cast heads for it. Unless I find a good deal on aluminum ones, because these ones lasted me quite a while. But go through these two this winter probably and try and get at least one of them running, because I have a plan for the one. This engine here is a 350 that came out of a pre-ran demo car. I bought it. I've never heard it run, but I bought it from old Square Body. I was going to put it in it. But as of right now, it's sitting there because the Square Body needs transmission work, and I don't know about that. But this one here is my 350 cam swap that I've been running in most of my bone stocks. Good, reliable engine. I caught it on fire at Wayne the last time I ran it. It shut off on me, which it never does, but it died on me after a wicked rear end shot, and I pumped the piss out of it, and it carb caught on fire. So that's what took me out there, and my transmission actually hit the dash bar, so it did save me from breaking my transmission. So this one here is my brother's 406 that came out of his bone stock caddy that he ran at Wayne. He broke his rotor in this one. Weird deal. I don't really know why, but it happened. Threw a new rotor in it and actually drove it on the trailer. The well unit 454 my dad rebuilt here this last winter-ish, this last summer. It's been sitting here for a while, but this one here is my brother's 360 that came out of his LTD limited weld last year. It's just been sitting here, I guess, turning it over to, relieve the valve springs and whatnot. But this is my cradle that came out of my Lincoln that I ran. We got a short block here with 2 bent rods that I think is sold. And this is the LS I ran in my 9802 as well. Had a wicked oil leak from something on the back half on the driver's side. That's why I pulled it out. This thing hit a lot of RPM, and I enjoyed it, but too many issues with it, like the starter broke off one time. So I have like a mid-plate adapter, BOP bell adapter thing that I welded the corner of the block to, and then I re-welded it up in here. And then I made a brace for the starter that welds to the lower cradle to kind of help flex. Starter sounds horrible, but it starts. That's that one. I got a old iron forged frame sitting here that's gonna do some stuff with that one. I'm not cutting my LTD up yet. That one's gonna be here for a little bit, be around for a little bit longer, I guess. Then we get back here. My brother's Lincoln. This thing took some abuse. This one's gonna get chopped up here soon. Rear end's all used up on it. This is a good car. It was our first new Ford 9802 frame on a 80s Lincoln body. It's held up great for our first new Ford build. Heavy new Ford build. Back here we got a trunk jig. Got my 14 bolt that came out of my Lincoln. Then we got my Dad's 14 bolt that I ran in my Caddy last, and he ran in his metric prior to that one. We've got a 10 bolt bolt-in axle, 488 gears, bolt-on pinion brake when we weren't allowed to weld upper ears on. That might be getting used here within the next year or two soon. This is just an HD 14 bolt housing, and this is that 9-inch I pulled out of my Lincoln. Paper thin tires, and somehow it didn't pop it. Them things are well used, but it worked perfect for my application. Now we'll go over here. We got Dad's bone stock that he ran in Wayne as well. I think he just shut it off because it got a little warm. Thing's pretty high up there, but it drove for the most part back, I believe. Maybe they pushed it. I'm not exactly sure, I guess. I was dealing with my car because we all ran the same heat. This one's just going to get pulled apart for now. It's not necessarily going to get completely cut up because it has potential yet, in my opinion, for later. It's a good little car. And then we got the grain carts out of here for now, so we got a little extra room. We got the Harleys back here. Kind of organized our tires. It looks like we have a crap ton of tires, but not a lot of them are all that great. I mean, they're decent, but just ran a lot of 27s at the start, small center 8-lug rims for our 14 bolts and whatnot. So we got a lot of small center 8-lug rims. Just kind of tried to reorganize it for the most part to keep it all on a single line, but that filled up quick, and purchased some new tires recently, so kind of got some tires kind of hanging out for now. Ended up moving our fresh rim stash over here instead of being outside and whatnot for our good stuff, because we don't want them walking off, I guess. Caprice is just the same little thing. What else? Tried fitting a pointy in the back of a 74 Imperial, and that didn't work. So that's not going like that. Cleaned up the workbench a little bit. I was using it today, so kind of reorganized. I've kind of in a reorganizing mood recently, trying to get the shop looking a little better because it got kind of clustered this last year, and it looks pretty good as of now. A few things I'd like to change over that way, but it's still pretty good. Coming up, I'm not sure what I'll really show videos on coming up in the near future. We're going to be helping on some Gold Rush cars going down to Gold Rush, so here coming up, we won't be in the shop a whole lot, and when I am, I'm going to be trying to work pretty good. We got harvest coming up too. So there's not going to be a lot of stuff I can really show or that's really worth showing. Maybe I'll make a video on pulling my dad's car apart, and other than that, I don't really know, I guess. I might be building another Ford 9-inch, 31 spine Ford 9-inch, but that might be a while before I get to that. I'm going to be building a new bone stock for next year. It'll be a little different, and I'll show a little bit on that one as I go, but it's also going to kind of be working on it here and there, so not really any in-depth videos on what I'm doing. It'll be a cool one, though. I think when I show it on the channel, you guys will like it pretty good. So, I don't know. So that's kind of going to be an update, just kind of a shop update overview, because I don't know if you guys go to like the first 3 videos on this channel, you'll see what this shop came from. We had no lights. The door was here uninsulated. Had a welding outlet right where that fan switch is. When my brother went to be an electrician, he decided to come put some lights in the shop, and over time we ended up digging in new power to the shop to supply it. I believe he put a bigger panel in here, added outlets. You know, we got bench lights and we got outlets down here, outlets for the lift. We got welding outlet down there and air compressor outlet and welding outlet there. So I don't know, added a lot, and then I just went ahead and threw some conduit up. Kind of had to do a lot of weird 4-bend and 3-bend saddles and stuff to get it to go over existing pipes and the door springs and whatnot. But places came a long ways. If you guys are interested in seeing where this shop came from, you guys can go to like one of the first 3 videos on the channel and you'll see no workbench, no lights. It would have been when I first got that. It was a 73 or 72 New Yorker I brought. That was my first ever demo car I brought in here back in 2018. Since then, this place has got kind of an upgrade, I guess you can say. But I guess that'll be it. I don't know. Just kind of rambling on. This is kind of just to fill you guys in, I guess. I don't really know. Work's been busy. Life's been busy. Stuff's only going to get busier, but keep trying to enjoy this expensive hobby while I can. So, all right, that'll be it. So please like, subscribe, and comment down below what you want to see more of. Thanks. Don't see this every day. It's an old like 64 Impala X-frame car. Old derby car. Got the front stub cut off of it. Rear end's packed in. Took a nasty passenger door shot and ripped that door open. That's absolutely nuts. Rear end's packed in, and it looks like they have an identical one stripped out ready to build right next to it. That is nuts, dude. You don't see stuff like this anymore. Normally it's all scrapped and gone. That's awesome. Another old AMC maybe. Got hit freaking hard. Rear end went straight to the dirt. Packed in hard. That's nuts. Took a driver's side corner shot. It looks like it just junked it. Man, that's something. Kept the old engine saddle straight though. That's crazy to see stuff like this out here anymore.